think Olivia Chow has a better chance than Rob Ford to win our mayoral?
Say that again?
Why do you think Olivia Chow has a better chance of winning than Rob Ford in our mayoral election?
Just from what I've read and seen about Rob Ford, there are some skeletons.
Great. Have you been to the city hall as of yet?
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna go.
Thank you so much. We've got to go. People whose job it is to be rude to those interviewing celebrities, we have to go. It's a marvellous profession. Jon Stewart of The Daily Show, apparently supporting Olivia Chow. Michael Moore says no to Rob Ford. Other TIFF types tell us what to think, because after all, they're famous, so they've got to be clever and correct. Gina Phillips has been covering this lunacy for us.
Yes.
And have you been having fun?
Oh, I have. So much fun. I always enjoy TIFF for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
Love the film, but I really do enjoy asking stars political questions. It's great. I mean, some of them love talking about it. Others just right off the bat go, no. Like, I don't know anything, and they run away. Well,
Brian Adams, for example, commented on Gaza. And I say thank God, because I had no idea what to think about the Middle East until Brian Adams came forward to tell me. Because you can read a script or compose a pop song, doesn't mean you're an expert on the issue. Look, Bono does a lot of work. He does research, he does understand. OK, but some of these guys, I don't care what they think.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting sometimes they have a different perspective. They've either hobnobbed with a lot of the politicians or they've traveled to certain places. They've seen parts of the world sometimes that others haven't. I get wanting to know what they think, but when it gets to a preachy level, that's annoying.
And of course, they speak on a regular basis with their accountant and their masseuse and the person who does their nails and prepares their meals. Now, Michael Moore has a lot to say about a lot of things. We're going to play a clip here. And I want people to just pay a bit of attention, because to understand a country, you should know things like, I don't know, what the capital is. Have a look, please.
It's just a step. The real way to do it is we're here, right here, in the capital of what true universal health care is in Canada. And ask any Canadian if they would give up their Ontario health card for an American health card. You won't, even the most conservative Canadian will not give up their Canadian health care card for an American one. You know, my grandfather's Canadian, so I'm a quarter Canadian. So I spend 25% of my time here being critical of Canadian politics.
Now, maybe it's just me. I always thought Ottawa was our nation's capital. It's Toronto!
It is! And now we know, because Michael Moore told us.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't really even catch that while I was interviewing him, but it's interesting seeing it after. I think that's what he meant. Well,
maybe he didn't, but so what? Yeah. Also, this false premise of it's either Canadian or American healthcare. Yeah. I don't want American healthcare, but what about France or Germany? They have wonderful systems. They're mixed systems. It's always this, you play it down to the lowest level. It's either the US, where millions of people die every 5 minutes, or it's Canada, where everyone is skipping around being happy.
Well, exactly. And I think this whole idea that Canada is the wonderland for healthcare. I mean, we have horrible wait times. You know, does he know about certain struggles in our healthcare system? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Either way, these sweeping generalizations get a bit tiring.
Now, you asked him about international terrorism as well, didn't you?
Yes, I did. He said something about Obama, which kind of triggered the question. Well, do you think? What do you think about Obama's response to ISIS? Yeah. To which he totally waved off that question and went off about Bush. Take a look at this.
All right.
Do you like the way that Obama's dealing with ISIS right now?
Oh, Obama took care of bin Laden, not the guy that ignored the warning a month before 9/11 that bin Laden was going to attack America. That killed a lot of people by having an idiot in the White House.
Now, I think that Bush was not a great president in terms of foreign policy. Obama's been even worse. Democrats will now say to you that America's enemies have been emboldened and friends have been made nervous. He plays a lot of golf. Why can't he just be balanced and say, I think Bush was a poor president, Obama's been a terrible disappointment, but he can't do that.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, he's a very opinionated person. He just is incredibly outspoken. I'm really glad that he stopped to talk to me. I was shocked, actually, I must say. So on that level, I kind of walked away going, yeah, he's a lot nicer and cooler than I
do understand that, because, let's be fair, the guy has taken some time out to chat to you. And and look, do you think he would have spoken to me? Okay. Can the camera have both of us for a few moments? Is it possible to get a shot of both? Okay, there's Gina, there's me. You're a guy. Who are you going to speak to? I mean, come on. There may be a reason he said, oh, I'll chat to you.
I guess, but don't you think he's kind of the guy to just look at some girl who's younger and just go, she's just some dumb reporter?
Oh, Gina. Now, money. He's a very wealthy man.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but when people do have extraordinary amounts of wealth, it's quite hard for them to empathize with ordinary people.
Yeah, totally. And I was looking at the car that he was climbing into, and it's a hybrid Escalade. Get that? I didn't even know those existed. And he goes, I'm like, well, you're in an Escalade right now. And he looks, he goes, am I? Like, he doesn't even know, right? He's that, he's that
pretending
famous. He just gets it. But then he goes, I don't care about that. And then I said, well, what about the hypocrisy? Yeah. And he answered in a very unusual way, basically saying that it's all a prank that he's played on the world. Just take a look at this clip. Right. You know, when the news stories come out, he's got this many mansions. He rides around and stuff like this.
I know. I plant most of those stories. That's the. I told my friends. I said, "Oh my God, I have," as a joke, as a prank. My writers and we over literally over 20 years.
No, you don't.
Oh yeah, no. I can show you stories.
And we can show you, actually, some evidence of his incredible wealth. Can we put some of this up on the screen now? Because the man, and again, he's worked hard, I'm sure, and he's made this money, but 9 homes, because 8, you can't survive on 8.
Exactly. A lakefront mansion worth $2 million, Manhattan condo, which was once 3 condos, by the way, turned into 1.
Good
and
God.
7 other properties. This all came out in his divorce settlement about a month ago. So.
And again, he's that wealthy. I'm not criticizing his wealth.
No.
I'm criticizing the fact that he has this wealth, and he doesn't seem to realize that it does push him out of the frame just a little bit.
Well, it makes it hard for a lot of people to kind of gulp down his message when he's bashing capitalism, things like that. And you know what? He is a lot more blunt about facing that than I thought. I heard him say a few things during his chat about, I'm part of all that. Yeah. I'm part of the problem. So that was interesting. I'll have to give him that. But at the end of the day, when people see that, they kind of write him off.
Okay. Now, Jason Priestley, who, that is his name, isn't it?
Yes.
I thought he was dead. No, I'm joking. No, but I mean, what does he do now?
Oh my gosh, he's directing Rookie Blue, which is shot in Toronto, the cop show.
Right.
And I thought that was pretty interesting. So he's behind the camera now, a really nice guy, even shorter than I thought.
They always are, aren't they? Famous people are always very short.
Always. Yeah. So I asked him about climate change.
This is a classic. This is great.
This was honestly like the best gift he could give to Sun News.
All right.
Viewers, you're going to laugh at this one. Take a look.
Hillary Clinton says climate change is the biggest issue facing the world today. Do you agree?
Yes, I believe it is. I believe it is. I was watching a David Suzuki special on the oceans today, and climate change is the biggest problem, is the biggest issue facing the world today.
So 4-foot-tall Jason Priestley, who I've seen Braveheart, thus I know everything about medieval history and the relationship between England and Scotland. He watched David Suzuki.
I know. Isn't he sweet?
That is one word that could be used. I'm sure he is. It's just, anyway.
I know.
Now, someone who is, I think, a far more sort of real person, I met him once, he wouldn't even remember, but I met him at my kids' school. He used to teach my kids, and he was I think his wife taught there as well, and they loved him. He was teaching, this is Jerry D. He was trying to make a living as a stand-up, and now he's done very well. You spoke to him.
Yes, he has that show, Mr. D, and it airs on CBC. I assumed that I was going to get a bunch of left-wing comments from him, but he really surprised me. Number one, he was super down to earth. Yeah. He wasn't on. You know how some of these celebrities are just so on, you can't even see what a real person they are.
We are, I know. Yeah.
It's so exhausting.
Okay, let's have a look.
All right, let's take a look.
Sadly, I don't think the other candidates are blowing anybody out of the water. I'm sure they have things in their closets. Doesn't everybody in some way or another?
Defending Ford.
And, well, not defending Ford, just, I suppose, asking for objective reporting. He's very big on family-friendly entertainment and not being blue and his stand-up act and so on. Yeah. Seems a good guy.
Totally. And I asked him about Joan Rivers, Robin Williams, just to get his, perspective, being a comic himself. And he said, yeah, it was great to have Joan Rivers doing that for me because I'm not that type of guy. Great. I'm really family-friendly. I want kids to be able to watch my show,
good
too.
Stuff. Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.